Hello and welcome back. Now it's time to perform the short circuit study. So we'll go with the diagram as we have it now, and we will change it through the simulation and through the when we perform the short circuit study. So as we see here in the icons, the next one is the short circuit that we are going to perform, and when we click that, we see that we switch to another type of icons, as we have previously mentioned that each module has its own commands. And the first is the run three-phase duty, which is the IEC 60909, which run a three-phase short circuit to the ground fault wherever we put our, let's say, our fault, if it is which bus bar, and usually it's done on a bus bar and the other elements are affected. Then we can run parallel for one single phase, and also we can do transient, but we will need to convert the generator, and we can also do that later. And then the rest is when we see the display option and some options here that will be visible after we have performed the short circuit. But we have explained a strategy that the first thing to do when we perform a module or an analysis, the first we need to go to the switch case here and to check what we are going to do. So if we click here, then we see that we have the study case, so we will go for the short circuit, or just the study case 1. And for the first one will be that calculate load terminal short circuit, and if we have static load capacitors, but for now we are not going to select as we don't have. And also if we have heaters, cables, and or overhead lines, we are not going to perform in our motor. So the next one is that what we need to have here, we can leave this as default if we have a one-phase subsystem, but and if we are starting a motor, that we will also analyze the motor starting and report contribution. We can go to the level 2. This is how much is the scale of contribution from the elements to the short circuit. And here, which is the most important, we choose where we can do our fault. So we'll try to make the fault here first at the medium voltage bus bar. So we just have to click here and select the fault one. And when we go to standards, you can choose whatever standard you want, but I would prefer to go with the IEC and to leave every settings as a default. So those are only some settings of how short circuit is performed. So the lines are connected together, are short circuited to the ground, and then you see the C factors, everything, operation, device duties, and if we have circuit breakers or not. In the adjustment, as we will leave as a default, and the alert here if we have it, so we'll click OK. So we are doing a three-phase short circuit fault here based on the IEC standard. So we need to go to the duty and select run the three-phase. It will ask for where to store the variables and the results. So we'll go for the short circuit 1 and let's click OK. We see that it's successfully performed. So here is how you perform the short circuit study. And now if we want, for example, to see the results or some report manager, you can do the same as the load flow, as now you already know. So here we can see that what kind of faults we can run. If we go into this, we can run all of the three-phase faults here, everything, and if we see that the only one that is being here is the grid, and this is, if we check here on the short circuit, you can check for the short circuit impedance data and much more. So this always do a short circuit to line to the ground, line, or 2 lines to the ground, and much more. So we are not going to perform that because we are more interested on running the three-phase short circuit fault, because this is what interested us the more here. And we can go on to check for the alert view, but still we don't have any alerts because we have just completed a short circuit study here. So if we run also one panel for one OPS device, we will see that no bus is faulted because we needed to to have a one single phase bus. So we'll always go for the short circuit three-phase duty here. And now let's see what happens if we change another bus bar, and we have to click here, remove it. So we say that those buses we won't fold, but we want to fold only the two low voltage. So we go here, and we can also select all the low voltage to be, but we select one by one or two by two, holding the control here, and we go to fold, click OK. You can move the diagram, but holding the space button and clicking with the mouse. And you see that those are the most red one, and those are selected. So you want to do a three-phase line ground, line to ground to see what's happening here. And we see that, look at how much is the current here, that it's expressed in the real and imaginary form. But if we go for the duty here, we can see that is the same analysis here, and we see that the current here is much more. So we'll also analyze later how to insert here a circuit breaker and what happens. So this is how we perform a successful short circuit study in ETAP. Stay tuned, because in the next lecture we'll perform the short circuit study again, and this time we also will see how we can affect, or what we can do to affect or to change this kind of short circuit current, because it's very important for your studies and for any project. So stay tuned, and thanks for your time.